Hi there guys, and welcome to another Crytan photography video, and today we're going to be looking at how to change yourself into a superhero using PicsArt. So before I get started, I'd like to apologize. I was meant to upload a video last week, but I've been so busy I haven't had time to film stuff. We're going to be focusing today is the Wolverine costume. So there's going to be some certain elements that don't actually belong to one particular Wolverine. So I'm not a purist. I like to make things up as I go along. And the first thing you're going to need is a background. The second is a picture of yourself, which is very soft lit, like the one I've got there. And you're also going to need the Wolverine armor, and you're also going to need the mask and the claws. And the teeth, like the fangs that he has, is optional. But I won't be able to show you that because I cannot find it on the Google image search. I can only find it on PicsArt stickers, and PicsArt stickers won't show up on any recording footage that I'm making today because of some copyright on PicsArt, which is very difficult to get past. Anyway, so the first thing you're going to need to do is to cut yourself out. You want to be part of the background, and a lot of our images today, like this, you need to come out of the background. So I'll be showing this technique first, and then you can apply it to every other element that I'll be showing you. Okay, so what we need to do first is, once you've loaded the image of yourself, is to cut out. So you want to tap the cutout feature here, and from there what you want to do is just paint on the image just all the areas in red where you would like to keep the information. So don't worry if you overlap into the background, that's absolutely fine. There's another second feature here which allows to refine. This is just telling PicsArt, hey, I want to select all this stuff in the red, and can you please cut it out neatly for me, please? Okay, so once you've done that, tap the tick at the top, or the arrow rather, and what it's going to do is try and cut out the information that it needs. So it's done a pretty good job, but you can see like these little dark areas where it's failed to get. You can just go back in. Oop, wrong brush. Make sure you got the paintbrush selected. I don't know why it goes to erase, but anyway, just make sure you've got those certain areas. And I'm just doing it very quickly to show you today. So you can actually zoom in and fix things like my ear there, it's cut out. Okay, so I'm just going to fast forward this part of the video. Okay, so once you're happy with that, just go ahead and save the image. Alright, so it's done a sort of good enough job. Obviously, the more time you spend on this, you can get it right. The less time you spend on it, you end up like this. But I'm just doing it very quickly to show you just how brilliant this is about cutting around the image. Okay, so once you're happy with that, what you want to do is go back out to your projects. And it should save this as a sticker. Now, I can't show you the sticker as I mentioned before, but what I will do is try and mention the sticker every time we put it in. So I want to go into my background. So you want to start with the background first. And I really like this bridge because it was an image that I sort of gravitated towards, and it would look great with Wolverine in front of it. So what I did, the first thing I did was to fix some of the color. I wanted it a bit darker because Wolverine's quite a moody character. So I wanted that element of the mood in that image. So just upping the contrast a bit and reducing the brightness helps to do that. And once you're happy with that, move on to the next thing, which is blurring the background. So go back into Tools and tap Tilt Shift, and you should be able to use the radial or linear blur depending on what you're going for. I very much like the radial blur because that's a more, wouldn't say believable, but it's a more accurate representation of the blur. Okay, so once that's done and you're happy with that, I'm not going to spend too much time on that, is to go into stickers. Now, the image that you cut out of yourself should be in the sticker thing. So unfortunately on your side, it's going to be a blank screen. On my side, I'm going to see all the information. Okay, so I'm going to select the image of myself that I've just cut out, which is here. Let me just find that. Cool. Right, so this is not the exact one. This is one I did earlier, which I spent a bit more time on. And the first thing you want to do is adjust it to suit the particular spot here. And I don't want it too high because I kind of want to capture the mask as well. And Wolverine's mask is it's got those like pointy ear things. I don't know what they are. But anyway, he's got that there and I need those to be showing. So I don't want to make myself too massive. If you are going to resize yourself, I would suggest to use the up and down arrow there for resizing rather than the 4 little squares, because that takes you out of your proportions and it looks like you've been stretched or made fatter or thinner or whatever. Don't mess with those, just only use this one here. Okay, so once you're happy with the position, yeah, somewhere in the middle there, just tap there and tap the tick at the top. Okay, and the next thing we're going to go for is the Wolverine body armor. So you won't be able to see this again. I'm going to go back into stickers and I'm going to pull out the Wolverine. There we go. So this has got, it's actually Hugh Jackman. I'm not sure which movie this is from, because he's pretty much been in all of them. But the armor looks really, really good. And I just want to position it just in front of me. Now, you're probably going to think, how am I going to see behind this? What's going on? There's an opacity slider here, which is really brilliant. So you can actually see in real time where the suit is sort of going to match up. And I'm not doing this too accurate. I'm not going to be actually following the lines of my body too much because I kind of like the you know, my black shirt kind of showing through and that coming through. So I just want to get like the breastplate in and maybe just adjust it a bit lower. There we go. A bit taller and a bit wider. And there you go. I think I've got it. Okay, that looks really weird. Okay, and then up the opacity back up to 100. Now this is crucial. If you don't do this, you're going to end up leaving like a half shell type armor and it doesn't look that great. You can see through it basically. Okay, so you want to tap the erase button at the top because we're going to take out Wolverine's head. Sorry, Hugh Jackman. And I'm also going to just erase part of the suit as well around the arms because I kind of want my own arm showing, and you sort of get the idea that you can see the armor coming through. And I'm just going to go around my neck. I kind of want my neck showing. There we go. So just outlining those areas where the suit was. This is like if you can get the exact pose, it looks great, but I kind of like the sort of like composition of not being totally accurate because it creates this unique design, something out of nothing basically. And there you go. So once you're happy with getting that, just tap the tick at the top and there we have it. So you've got the armor now. The next thing I'm going to focus on is the mask. So the mask itself, I'm going to go into stickers again. Okay, so the mask is very tricky. It was a bit tricky for me because the head shape is slightly different, and also my eyes were not in the right place, but that doesn't need to matter too much because I'm going to add in these fake eyes, which you can find in the app. I couldn't find them on Google image search, but they are found in the stickers. If you type in scary eyes, there should be a pair of white eyes that you can find there. So I'm just going to adjust the mask to my head. we go. So get it where you roughly need it to be. It's obviously not going to be a match, but don't worry, because at this point we don't need it to be that accurate. Okay, so once you're happy with the placement, the next thing is the eyes. Now, as I mentioned before, there's these things called scary eyes. I think they're only available until Halloween, so make sure you install them. They're in the stickers section, and you'll see them once I bring them out, what they look like. And you should get this like white eye kind of thing. Or if you can find a different one, let me know. But what I did was I rotated it and then twisted it to suit the mask eyes here. Okay, so I'm just going to show you how it's done. Okay, so you want to resize it to the shape of the eye hole in the mask, and you want to set the opacity up to about 50 to see exactly whereabouts you're covering. Now, I would suggest overlapping the actual eye socket because it's not designed for this. You're going to use the erase brush around the edges. So put that opacity back up to 100. Select the rubber, the eraser, and what you want to do is just paint in using the erase feature just around the eye socket for the mask. And you can zoom in and paint back in like lost areas and things like that. Okay, and tap the tick at the top, and there you have it. So that's one eye done, and let's do the second one. Okay, so once you finish the eyes, the third thing we're going to move on to for this, or fourth thing, is the claws. So the claws I showed in the beginning, you need to cut them out just so they show the actual claws, and rather than the material that has come through. So I have one that I've already done already, using that same cutout method. Now, I struggled to find the right claw for my hand position, and I had a look at this one. If you look at it, my hand is at like a weird angle, so the claws are almost pointing towards the camera, and I struggled to get the ones that actually point towards you rather than the ones that sort of like this throughout his hand. Those seem to be a bit more common, but I managed to find this one where it's coming through some material, so it's coming straight out. And all I had to do was just cut out and rotate like that, and to bring it down to my hand like that. So let's just zoom out a bit there and put that there. So as you can see already, they seem to suit the angle of my hand, which is great. So I'm just going to zoom in there, and I'm just going to fit it to my hand, roughly about there. And I'm going to stretch them and just bring them down a bit. And there you have it. So I literally have Wolverine claws now. All you want to do is zoom in and just use that erase feature. Obviously you can spend a bit more time than what I'm doing today. The more time you spend on this, the better it's going to look when it comes out. That's about it. Right, so then the final thing is the fangs. Now, this is clearly optional. I find it gives the suit a bit more of an edge. I'm going to go back into stickers. Now, as I mentioned, I couldn't find these on the Google image search. These are probably exclusive to PicsArt. So once you go into that sticker section, look under fangs or vampire fangs, and it should show up like one of the first images there. And all you want to do is just resize it to your teeth. Now, funny enough, this pair actually almost fitted me perfectly, because when I adjust the opacity, it's almost like they were made for me. But anyway, I don't want those all the white teeth. All I'm really interested is in the fangs on the side. So what I'm going to do is first adjust the color just to the brightness, and I want it to match my teeth, so I'm going to add a bit more saturation and a bit more contrast, a bit less contrast actually. There we go. I don't want them too bright, otherwise they stick out. I'm happy with that. I'm going to use the erase tool, and the trick here is to make sure that your lip is showing and none of these black parts are actually showing around the teeth. That black outline is horrible, so Okay, and there you have it. So once you're happy with that, you can put bottom fangs in if you like, but I was only interested in the top ones because Wolverine pretty much has the one set. Okay, and that's pretty much it. So that's the image from me. You can do the rest of them. The next thing I wanted to do was make it more cinematic, so I went back into effects. So you tap on the effects option here, and right at the top it should take you straight in. You should look for this thing called Dodger, this effect called Dodger, and it gives a more cinematic feel to it, and you can adjust with the slider how much thing. And I sort of went for about 50. I wanted it looking as real as it could, but it looks more cinematic at 50. And that's it. That's my Wolverine tutorial on PicsArt. Thank you so much for watching. If you've liked this video, do give us a like, subscribe, share, do your worst on that comment section. And yeah, I will be selecting the best image from this tutorial. If you've got the image that you've done, send it over to me with your superhero, and the best one I'll put on my next video as a shout out to say well done, and I'll put a link to your work as well so other people can see your stuff. And yeah, by the way, the music as usual is made by myself, so do show us some love on that SoundCloud. And yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Keep clicking and keep editing. Cheers.